Kickmaster was developed for the Nintendo Entertainment System by a lesser-known developer called KID, which stands for Kindle, Imagine, Develop. Some of KID's other NES games include Low G-Man, The Low Gravity Man, G.I. Joe, and the follow-up G.I. Joe The Atlantis Factor, a game which I personally really enjoy. Kickmaster was originally slated to be published by Taxan, who had previously published many of KID's other games, including the aforementioned Low G-Man and G.I. Joe. Taxan, however, stopped publishing games before Kickmaster was finished. Kickmaster must have been fairly close to completion when this happened, as the Taxan logo is still present in the game data. KID needed to find a new publisher for Kickmaster, and they found one in Taito. Taito, for those that don't know, developed one of the most iconic games of all time, Space Invaders. In September 1991, Kickmaster was featured in a 6-page article in issue number 28 of Nintendo Power. The article includes some pretty helpful information, like detailing which magical spells you can acquire in your adventures, and an overview of the first 6 levels of the game, including detailed level layouts for levels 4, 5, and 6. The spread also features some Kickmaster artwork, like this image of the Kickmaster jump kicking over some giant bats in front of what appears to be Dracula's castle from Castlevania. I love the look on his face. He's like, am I in the wrong game or what? 4 months later, Kickmaster was released in North America in January of 1992, and only in North America. That's right, Kickmaster was a North American NES exclusive. The Kickmaster manual tells us the story of Thonolin, the youngest and probably only man ever to earn the title of Kickmaster. Instead of joining the King's Knight like his brother Macron, he stayed with his ancient master Tassadin. One day, Thonolin's brother Macron arrives bearing a horrible tale. The Princess Sylphie has been kidnapped, and the nameless king and queen have been killed by the evil wizard Belzed. Thonolin is now their only hope, and he must leave immediately. Along the way, he'll meet Wolf Rider and Wing Leader, arch friends summoned by Belzed. Will the skills Thonolin spent his lifetime developing save Laurel? As Tassadin says, to learn the ending, one must play the game. Upon starting the game, we're treated to Kickmaster's opening sequence, which shows Thonolin and Macron together about to fight one of those scummy living skeletons that attacked the king. The skeleton takes offense to this and says, "You humans think you're a match for Belzed? You can't even defeat me," which is a pretty sick comeback for a dead guy. The scummy living skeleton mortally wounds Macron, and as he collapses, he imparts the following wisdom onto Thonolin.
"My steel is no match for these creatures. Only with your great kicking skills can we hope for victory."
Thonolin responds by shouting, "Don't die," in Macron's face, as Macron proceeds to do the exact opposite of this request and dies. As a trio of spooky skeletons sneaks up, Thonolin swears vengeance on Belzed and scene. Okay, perfect, people. That's a wrap. Kickmaster features the typical horizontal and vertical platforming that you're probably familiar with in other NES titles. Press A to jump, and press B to kick. Fall in a pit, you die. Lose all your health, you die. Touch the bottom of the screen, you die. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Wrong. Kickmaster has some unique elements mixed in. When you kill an enemy, you'll notice that some items fly out. Collecting one or more of these items will grant you a small power-up. A heart will heal you a bit, a magical potion will regenerate some of your magic points, the skull item will cause poison damage and knock you back, and these coins will grant Thonolin experience points. That's right, you gain experience and level up in Kickmaster. When you first start your adventure, you're limited to 3 basic kicks: the high kick, the sweep kick, and the vertical press kick. As you level up, you unlock new and more powerful kicks to unleash on your foes, including the knee drop, the sliding kick, and the double butterfly kick. If you manage to reach the max level of 7, you'll have a total of 10 kicks at your disposal, and you'll be able to call yourself a true Kickmaster. You can perform a basic kick in Kickmaster by simply pressing the B button, but the more advanced kicks require pressing a direction on the D-pad at the same time. For example, to perform a sliding kick, you have to push down and the direction you'd like to slide plus the B button. Leveling up and unlocking new kicks is one of the things I absolutely love about Kickmaster. The feeling of progression and getting more powerful that this system brings is truly a shining point in the game, and the kicks themselves look really cool. That being said, some of the kicks at your disposal can work against you. In an intense moment, it's way too easy to perform the wrong kick at the wrong time. I've died so many times because I accidentally performed a kick which causes the Kickmaster to go flying off into the abyss. So many times. Thonolin may be a kickmaster, but kicks aren't the only weapon in his arsenal. Beating a boss rewards you with magical abilities to aid you on your journey, but you can also find magical items in secret or hard-to-reach areas. These magical abilities include spells which will heal Thonolin, grant the ability to clone yourself, call down lightning from the heavens, or create an earthquake which freezes all on-screen enemies, including somehow the enemies in the air. All of these abilities cost MP, so you'll have to use them wisely. Kickmaster's gameplay is not without its flaws. There's this slight veneer of unpolished jankiness to Kickmaster, which most of the time you won't even notice. However, when it does show up, it roundhouse kicks you in the face. For instance, I know there's a spike that's going to come out of the ground up here, so let's just be patient, wait. Okay, I guess maybe it's not. Oh, well, there it is. Okay, this time, no waiting. I'm just going to go. All right, oh, okay, it's gone. Okay, well, let's go. Oh my God, what? Okay, let's try this one more time. We're going to get up here. Patience and okay, no spike. And okay, now there's no spikes at all. You see, that's a thing in Kickmaster. Sometimes enemies or obstacles don't appear when they should, making the game really unpredictable sometimes. Oh, hey, check it out. There's an item down here. I wonder what this one does. Some of the magic's really good in this game, by the way. Let's see. Oh, life 2. That means that when I'm low on health, I'll be able to heal. Oh, how cruel. Thankfully, Kickmaster features a password system, so you can get back into the action right where you left off. It also shows the magical items you may or may not have collected in each stage. However, once again, the unpolished nature of Kickmaster strikes again. You can't exit the password screen without resetting unless you input a valid password. I'm pressing every button here. Just let me go back. Kickmaster's title screen immediately rocks your socks off with an 8-bit rendition of what sounds like an 80s rock ballad. On your Kickmaster journey, you'll travel through interesting and detailed environments. Kickmaster was one of the first NES games to feature parallax scrolling, which adds a really nice feeling of depth to some of the stages, but it's a shame it wasn't used more frequently, as I feel some of the environments would have really benefited from it, most notably the Witch's Forest stage. Speaking of the Witch's Forest, the music is super good. While not all of the music is outstanding, Kickmaster does have a handful of exceptional tracks. Kickmaster's best tracks sound like they should be played on an electric guitar loudly. Thankfully, I was able to find a talented musician, Baroto-sama, on YouTube, who seems to agree. I've dropped a link to Baroto-sama's cover in the description below, so be sure to check out his YouTube channel for more awesome music. Now, let's talk about Kickmaster's bosses. Most of the bosses are kind of forgettable design-wise, like this flying green whatever it is, but that's not all. Listen to the sound it makes. It's like fighting an old dial-up modem. However, check this out. Look at this boss. You have to fight the freaking Kraken while dodging a barrage of cannonballs. This boss stands out to me as one of the most visually impressive bosses I've seen in any NES game, period. Seriously, when I saw this boss, my jaw dropped, and I was thinking to myself, is this a newer game that was just released on an NES cartridge or what? But no, they did this back in 1991. I do have one problem with the visuals in Kickmaster, which you can actually see in this fight as well. I realize NES games in general suffered from sprite flickering, but Kickmaster seems to suffer more than most with this problem. I don't know if it's the result of having too many sprites on the screen or what, but it's noticeable enough to detract from the otherwise impressive artwork in the game. In summary, Kickmaster may have one of the most uncreative names in video game history and an infrequent yet noticeable layer of jankiness to it, but I must admit that it's incredibly rare for me to stumble across a game like Kickmaster. For the most part, it successfully combines challenging platforming, a rewarding leveling system, and a fun, if at times imprecise, control scheme. While Kickmaster does have its share of issues, when it's at its best, it stands toe-to-toe with other classic NES platformers like Castlevania or Ninja Gaiden. If you're a fan of either of those series, you owe it to yourself to give Kickmaster a shot. Seriously, I love Kickmaster. In fact, I just finished a deathless run of Kickmaster, which is available here. There should be a link somewhere. When all is said and done, I feel that Kickmaster is a game well worth adding to your NES library. It brought back fond memories of playing my favorite NES platformers for the first time, which is something I haven't genuinely experienced since I was a kid. I'm Quwebs. This has been my review of Kickmaster for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and I hope you have a great day.